Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily. We will showcase the Top 20 Countdown series from 247 Sports on the Top 20 Buckeyes going to 2026, and we'll break down Ohio State's NCAA tournament first round game. Now, according to Bucknuts, their Top 20 Countdown series, one of the most important players of the 2026 roster comes in at number 4. Running back Bo Jackson. He went to Villa Angeles St. Joseph High School in Cleveland, ranked as a number 11 running back in the 2025 class, and started off as third string for Ohio State. But for high school, he chose Ohio State over Alabama and Georgia. And after, say, game 2, he had a breakout game against Grambling. And had over 100 yards later in the game, and then got his first start in week 5 against Minnesota, night game. And once he got his opportunity, he played very well and rushed for over 1,000 yards off 179 carries with 6 touchdowns. It became just the 5th freshman in program history to surpass 1,000 yards. He had back-to-back 100-yard games early on in the season, and had a great game in the game for all-purpose rushing yards. And at 6 foot 217, Jackson brings a combination of size, burst, and big playability, even breaking off 50-yard runs this past season. So for this next season, 2026, Bo Jackson is clearly the number 1 running back going into the season, and I believe he'll have a better year than his freshman season, but his stats won't be drastically better than last season due to other running backs getting more playing time. You're going to see Isaiah West taking a leap. Jacoby Jackson will be a solid running back for 500 plus yards, and Nate Legend Bay will get a lot of carries as well, which will balance things out for him to be more fresh for the playoff. But he will surpass 1,000 yards again for the regular season, around 1,200 yards for that time period, and due to the playoff, 3 to 4 additional games, he will have 1,500 yards for the entirety of the season. I think with that, with this playoff run, he will be considered a top 5 player heading into 2027, a Heisman candidate, preseason Heisman candidate for that season, and the number 1 player on the team for 2027. So yes, another great year for Bo Jackson coming up. Now here's the rest of the top 20 countdown the Bucknuts has had, ranked from number 20 to number 4. We got Zion Grady, defensive end, at 20. Number 19, Terry Moore, the Duke transfer safety. And then another ACC safety, Earl Little Jr. from Florida State. And then Chris Henry Jr., primetime freshman. Peyton Pierce, linebacker. People expect him, many expect him to start at linebacker alongside Christian Allegro. And then John Walker, the UCF defensive lineman transfer. Connor Hawkins, kicker from Baylor. James Smith, the Bama defensive lineman. Riley Pettyjohn, second-year linebacker. Edric Houston, defensive lineman, 3rd year. Luke Montgomery, sorry, I didn't get the numbers. Okay. Chris Henry Jr. at number 17. Number 16, Peyton Pierce. Number 15, John Walker for UCF, defensive lineman. Number 14, Connor Hawkins, kicker. Number 13, James Smith, Alabama defensive lineman. Number 12, Riley Pettyjohn, linebacker, sophomore linebacker. Number 11, Edric Houston, defensive lineman. Number 10, Luke Montgomery, offensive lineman. Number 9, Jermaine Matthews, corner. Number 8, Devin Sanchez, corner. Number 7, Jalen McClain, safety. Number 6, Carson Hinsman, center. Number 5, Kenyatta Jackson Jr., defensive end. And number 4, Bo Jackson. So, two others obviously will be on the list. But the third, we'll find out. So then you get to recruiting. You have 4-star safety Adrian Cole. Says it's coming down to 2 schools right now, Ohio State and Georgia. According to Rivals, Cole said, one day Georgia's on top. Then it is Ohio State. Keep going back and forth between those two. Now Cole is rated as a top 300 safety, top 300 player nationally, and top 25 safety in the 2027 class. He's 6'2", 190, and plays at Douglas County High School in Atlanta. He also holds offers from Alabama, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Auburn, but it will most likely come down to Ohio State and his home state school, Georgia, for his recruitment. Okay, so Ohio State lost a very close game to TCU, 66-64 in the first round of the NCAA tournament yesterday. OSU was down 15 at halftime. Looked like done deal. TCU was going to win this game by 15, 20 plus. And then John Mobley just played with ultra confidence and was really playing well, making some threes, driving. He really saved this team. The stats doesn't show his impact in the time period. Without his scoring run, the OSU loses this game by 15, 20 points. But he brought them back in striking distance, and then you had a Gabe Cupps 3 really put OSU back in the ball game. And then Devin Royal, and that after John Mobley made his run, Devin Royal was playing great, posting up some points, was driving out of the high post, was definitely a mismatch problem for TCU. Had 14 points. Then Amari Bynum played well, played good as well, over 10 points. I think it was 12 points. He had some nice drives. Second half, had an and one layup. They didn't call it and one, but looked like a foul to me. And then he had driving dunk. Definitely a March Madness moment there. I thought OSU was definitely going to win. After that point, he played well and also had a lot of rebounds. And Gabe Cupps was the only person to score off the bench, had a clutch three-pointer to get OSU closer into this game when they were down 15 points. The starters played heavy bulk of the minutes in this game, which makes sense. It is do or die in the tournament. And so with that, guys are probably very tired down the stretch of the game. And then Bruce Thornton, all-time leading scorer, the senior, he had a difficult time getting going, scoring in this game. But when it mattered most late in the game, he had some big-time buckets. He had 4 assists in the game. And then he had a drive late in the game that could have been toss-up call, charge, but they called it a block. He made some clutch free throws, and then OSU down 3, big-time three-pointer. This is what March Madness is all about. Less than 30 seconds left. He makes a 3. He ties the game, and you think, okay, it's one stop. OSU can win this game. TCU holds the ball for as long as they can. Only 4 seconds remaining. Differential for the game clock and shot clock. And David Punch gets the ball into Xavier Edmonds in the post for a layup. TCU went up by 2 with only 4 seconds remaining. Now the person that got the assist, David Punch, he's the one that guaranteed a win for TCU. Well, he played well. Props to him. He had I think 16 points. What was it? Yeah, David Punch, 16 points and 13 rebounds, and he even had some clutch buckets when TCU was really struggling to score. When OSU was coming back in this game, took the lead. He's the one that was driving at some and one buckets, and so he made the guarantee and played well and helped TCU in this ball game. So then you had the final 4 seconds of the game. OSU, it's a timeout. They have to go the length of the court. Usually, at this standpoint, if guards can drive past half court and get to like volleyball line range, Steph Curry type range three, which is actually a good shot, considering you have to go the length of the court. So they hit the ball, inbounder Bruce Thornton, and he drives. Well, usually they allow the guard there, to get past half court and pull up a shot. With TCU, they sold out on Bruce Thornton and trapped him at half court. At that point, not to do but just heave the ball up for half court, and it was a miss, and that was the ball game. I believe OSU obviously was going to get the ball to their best player, Bruce Thornton situation. I'm not sure if they were prepared for TCU to sell out there, and a backup plan to, if Bruce Thornton can't get to it, get it past half court to someone else, maybe John Mobley, to jack up a three on that standpoint past half court. But that is the game, and an ending to a season and ending to a tremendous career for Bruce Thornton, who leaves a legend for Ohio State, all-time leading scorer, brought OSU back to the NCAA tournament, where they haven't been since his time period at Ohio State. Most players his caliber would have transferred years ago, considering how the program has been down. But he stuck with OSU, and when the team was collapsing down at the end of the year in February, he brought them back. 4-game win streak, not only making the tournament, got an 8th seed. And so, incredible accomplishment for the team, and especially him. We'll see what he can do at the next level. But as far as post-game quotes, John Mobley, leading scorer for this game for Ohio State, 15 points. He said this on losing to TCU. It's going to be motivation for me every day coming up this summer. And according to 11 Warriors, on the final play, Jake Diebler said this about OSU. He said OSU wanted to give the ball to Bruce Thornton on the run and give him passing outlets, a shot, or a chance to call a timeout across half court on the play. I'm pretty sure they didn't have any timeouts left, but I could be wrong on that situation. But it makes sense to get the ball to your best player. He also said, we were trying to get to him on the run and give him freedom to make a decision. And he gave TCU props defensively for guarding Bruce Thornton on that play and stopping him from getting the ball on the run and getting a better shot in the situation. And so, look, the team battled and made this an exciting game. Down 15, you don't want to see them make the tournament and not compete. They definitely competed, just battled in this game to come back. They were right there at the end, and it just didn't work out in their favor. The last play defensively, I feel like you can't give up a post-up layup situation, but that's what happened. People on Twitter were saying that the guy was in the lane for like 10 seconds and it wasn't called. Unfortunate no call, but Ohio State had opportunities in this game and just fell short as how March works, and Bruce Thornton leaves OSU legend. And look, it's tough to see them lose that way at the end of the season. That is frustrating. But realistically, they're playing Duke. Number one, they would have played Duke the number one overall seed in this tournament. And from a talent standpoint, Duke is much better than Ohio State. If you put Duke's talent in the OSU jerseys and then OSU's talent for Duke, we'd be saying the same thing. We'd be like, oh, OSU, no, they can't beat us. Well, OSU had a chance to beat them. It is March, you have a chance, but talent standpoint, Duke was clearly better. And so even with this win, it'd been very difficult to see Ohio State beat Duke. And so with that, I'm saying that based off the talent disparity, and that could change next year. OSU is going to have their first All-American in a decade. Duke and other power like blue blood programs have All-Americans every year. So the recruit that could change things, the trajectory of the program, Anthony Thomas, McDonald's All-American, forward, he'll be there. John Mobley returns. We'll see how the roster holds up and kind of transitions for the offseason. They should have some momentum this time, making the tournament, to see if they can get some guys out of the portal. And with the recruiting class, they should be good next year, and be exciting to watch with the All-American in the building and John Mobley taking the next step for this team. But overall, this is about Bruce Thornton wishing best of luck for the next level. And as far as coaching-wise, I think Diebler proved himself, and he's definitely not getting fired after how things ended this season. And so, yeah, great season. Not expectation-wise for Ohio State. You want them to be winning these games, maybe the second week in the tournament. But as far as stepping stones, this was a step in the right direction. And so congrats on the season to the Buckeyes basketball team. We will have more updates on football next week. All right, go Bucks.